this side. Happy haircut to you.
Well, I noticed. I just didn't think it looked that good. So yeah. So yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. I know we have a quick message from Eric before we begin. You want to just trade spots? Cause like, yeah.
Okay. I'll stay here. You get to sit down here. Yeah, my only point, I just wanted to share with you guys some feedback. So I talked to the developmental editors, and like they were like very impressed. Was the best thing. So some people may be like, oh gosh, I'm behind or whatever it is. Here's the best thing. Like the editors think the quality of the stories is better than last group. So that's a really good sign. I mean, I didn't know how this thing would play out, but I think you guys should be happy that so you're getting good feedback on that sort of thing so far, that things are going in the right direction. Biggest sort of thing that I would share on this front too is like, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep creating those sorts of things. I think the next sort of milestone of words that you're sort of want to try and submit for is after Thanksgiving. So, whatever, block out some time, spend some time, create stuff. And, if you feel like it's like taking you longer than you think or whatever it is, remember, my answer is sort of write shittier. I know that's a funny thing to say, but like first drafts are really what you should be submitting to show your story structure, where those things sort of go on that front. But yeah, I think this is great to see. I think you guys should be really happy with where it is. And kind of like, over the next, couple months here, like basically between now and really December 31, I think the biggest thing that you guys can all start to sort of do is just fit this in as you can fit it in, right? That sort of target of 20,000 words is the biggest thing. So like, just don't stress on whether you're behind or ahead. Create when you feel inspired to, and if you don't have time, just don't worry about it. Right? I mean, like, I just mean it like, because like the quality of stories that you guys are writing is great, so that's good. And so I think just create what you can do. And then the last thing that I'll share with you guys too is like, use your developmental editors as a resource. Like these are like legit people who've like helped publish a shitload of books. They're authors themselves. And so they're here to help you. So if you're like, hey, I want you to read, if you're like, hey, I want you to read this specific story, or what do you think of this thing, or whatever it is, like just send it their way, because they're there to basically give you feedback along the way. Because like no one here's written a book before. And so how do you know if it's any good or any bad or whatever that is? So anyway, that's my sort of 2 cents. I think like golf clap, like good work on this sorts of things that's going on. And my sort of advice is just keep doing it. And I know, the next month or so is a busy one for everyone with like finals coming up and Thanksgiving holidays, stuff like that. But where you got chunks of time, just create. If you got your plane ride home or you got a train ride home, just try and crank out a bunch of stuff. If you're like literally have some time, just like speak it into your phone and let it be transcribed and do that way or whatever it is. But the goal is like just to create 20,000 words of sort of first draft content between now and January. That's it. If you do that, we will make this into a great book, I promise you. I mean, Carson has seen the groups that he worked with. They were way shittier than where you guys are at. and now they're like real legit books with beautiful covers and all those things. So anyway, just don't beat yourself up. Just keep doing what you're doing. And I think we're going to have some awesome things come out of this little bit of crew on that front. Then I have one last thing specifically for the Georgetown authors. I'll ship all of you guys kind of a little bit of a document on how to do independent study stuff. I'll actually share it with the other authors too about how to go and get independent study credit for this one. It's pretty straightforward. I basically have like the email template to send. I have the syllabus to send. And so effectively all you need to do is find a professor and basically send them these things, and they should be keen to do an independent study. So what you would use basically the work that you've done, or sort of the work that you've done and the continuing work that you'll do in revisions and that sort of stuff as your deliverable for for class credit. And if you find a professor who's keen to sort of say, hey, listen, I would like to, take this research and writing and interviewing work and turn it into a class, professors have been pretty keen to let that happen.
And this is for
the spring. Yeah, for the spring semester. Yep.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, you guys have been doing so great. I've been reading over a lot of stuff. It's really exciting to see. Does anyone have any more questions for Eric before we begin our activity? Anyone at all?
This is a fun activity too. I think I told Carson about this one. Listen, one of the things too is like over the next 6 weeks or so, 8 weeks, having someone that you can bounce stuff off of, someone you can collaborate with is great. So tonight I think is a little bit of an exercise to sort of connect you with some more people and do a couple fun things. But yeah, listen, I'm just generally speaking, I would say I'm super impressed with where this has gone. I will admit I was not totally sure how this was going to work outside of like the formal classroom setting, and it was good to hear the development editors say like, yeah, this actually content is better than what you did in the class. So maybe I'm just a shitty teacher and Carson's better at this whole thing than I am. But yeah, it's great to see. I think you guys should do it, and understand that like the story quality is good, and now you just got to keep doing it. So keep doing what it is. And worst case scenario, remember, if you get to the point where it's December 24th and you're like, I only have like 5,000 words, you're just gonna bust ass in a week and get to the point where you got your 20,000 words of story. So all you're gonna get there. Carson's going to be calling you on Christmas morning and saying, hey, Santa's here. We're going to do this thing. But anyway, just know, I think you guys are on your way and that sort of stuff. Any other questions from you at all?
Hey,
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'll see you guys. I won't see you next week. I will be in Germany.
Yeah.
I'm going on vacation for a week.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see you guys. I'll start stuff about the credit stuff around Wednesday.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for coming here. Yeah, I promise I won't actually call you on Christmas Day. He's joking about that, but hopefully you won't have to like force me to anyways. All right, so yeah, we're gonna start our activity. This it worked pretty well last night. It's gonna be a lot of like collaborating with other authors, but in order to do that, we have to do a little like prep work. So we're gonna spend the next like 10, so I guess 12 minutes. We'll round up to 5:20. I want you guys to like look in your stories index and look at your stories and come up with something like brand new based on a secondary interview that you can find pretty easily, if that makes sense. So basically, for example, like I'm doing stuff about startups. And so last night when I was doing this activity, I just looked up like Mark Cuban, because that's a good like entrepreneur. And and I found just some story about Mark Cuban, like in his like early days right out of college, how he was like super poor, but he wanted to learn a bunch of different stuff. I was able to like kind of draft an outline and then a story out of that. So what we really want you to do is try to, in this next 10 minutes or so, make like a really shitty outline or like shitty, like short paragraph or so about a brand new story for a secondary interview. And then I'm going to like, I'll tell you what we'll do next, but we're going to break you up a little bit. So like be prepared to be able to speak about it. So actually have like a little bit of something done. So yeah, so I'll give you guys 10 minutes to do that. Starting now, we'll group up at 5:20. So yeah. I'll be working on my own too, but let me know if you have any questions about that. Oh, also another thing I want to say, I've been getting a lot of questions like in the last like couple weeks about Stories Index, like how to use that and stuff. I'm gonna send out like a video like directly after this I made last night, like kind of explaining how to use it and like basically what we would like to see from it. So hope that's a little bit useful. But for now, just try and put what you've been doing in your Stories Index and then try and make like an outline. I'll try and get a little demonstration here. Okay, so I'll give you guys a couple more minutes, but if you're wondering what I'm talking about, I'm gonna try and share my screen. Here, hold up, give me a sec. I kind of just drafted this up in the last couple minutes. It's just like a outline of a small story. I looked at my old interview dashboard and somebody I reached out to but never got a response to, CTO of Priceline.com when it was being built. And I just made this pretty shitty outline, but it's enough to talk about with another person. So yeah, this is just kind of what I like to see you guys do. It'll help a lot for the activity, but yeah, don't feel pressured to write a whole story. Just get something you can talk to somebody about. So I'll give you 2 more minutes, just kind of put something together real quick. And yeah, I promise, even if it's not great, you'll still get a lot out of this. So. Okay, all right, I'll explain the activity now. You can keep typing while I'm talking. So we're gonna split up into groups of 2 or 3. I know we have an odd number both in here and up there, so we'll make 2 groups of 3. And basically, the activity is called Pass the Story. We basically want you to exchange the story with whoever you're matched up with, I guess. And just spend 10 minutes giving good detailed feedback about what you think they can do with this story. You might have to remind the person of your topic, and try and talk about what you've already done so far. But what we really we've seen out of this is that even if you guys are doing 2 completely different things, you know nothing about it, usually just basic things about story structure, meaning to your book, little things that could really contribute to your story arc, tend to get espoused through this. So I really encourage you to try and make the most out of this. What we'll do for the next 20 minutes or so is we want you guys the first 10 minutes exchange stories, so until 5:30ish, and then the next 10 minutes discuss what they said about it. You can talk throughout, and I encourage you to talk throughout, but just try and take the first 10 minutes or so really looking over what they've done. It probably won't, I mean, honestly, I didn't expect you guys to write a whole story in 10 minutes, but try and just go over what they have. Try and maybe look up on Google or whatever if you can find anything on your own that helps them out. Just take the next 20 minutes and just try to help out the other author as much as possible. Okay, well, someone just left. That's awkward. Anyways, all right. So we'll do that now. I'm gonna break the people up here into breakout rooms, and then the people down here, I'll let you know. So yeah, I'll do the breakout rooms. And yeah, just talk about your guys' book. Try and pass the story. This went really well yesterday. The idea of it is, at the very least, you could have a good inspiration for a good story. Everyone walked out of it yesterday with that. So I'm gonna break you guys up into rooms now, and then yeah. Okay. And then for here, I think Zane, Alex, and then Ferris and Will and Luca. So yeah. kind of mix it up. Hey Cameron, guess you want to go to your breakout room? Sierra, I think he's not paying attention. I don't know. I can try to help you out if you want. I know you've been writing a lot of poems, so it's a little bit like unconventional. But is everything going well with you? Oh, I think you're muted. Hold up. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going well. It's pretty hard because like I can't just write. So like it takes a lot longer. But I'm on track.
But has your content been like flowing a bit? Like, whatever, Will. That works. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but no, I hope your content's going well at least. Is you've been like pumping out a lot of poems in general, or you have a writer's block a little bit?
Yeah, no, I'm on track. I think I get like 5 a week that I actually like. I write a lot more, but then I just don't like them that much, or like I want to go back and edit them. So yeah, it's going pretty well. I go to a bookstore and like do the writing. So when I go home, I do a lot of writing. But yeah, and like Andrea really liked everything, and she gives really helpful advice. So it's going well.
Good. That's good to hear. No, I mean, I think what you've been doing is really cool, and I've been looking over some stuff, and it's really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it turns out. But yeah, hopefully Cameron will come in the next few minutes. He might have something to share with you, like some kind of story to share. But if he's the guy you're matched up with. But he, if not, I guess sit tight. We'll come back. And, yeah, sorry, he's not paying attention, I guess. But
that's okay.
No, but I think you're doing good. If you have any like troubles or like writer's block, you can reach out to me. I know I'm probably not going to help you a lot on like poetry, but I can try to give you some tips that work for other authors. So, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it sounds good. That would be good because it's like very hard for writing.
Yeah, but like I would just say like, with this kind of thing, you don't want to like force it. You want to make it good.
Yeah.
So I would not. Just write really, truly write when you're inspired. I think that's probably the best thing for you. And if that means like at first you might not get as much content, then that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna leave the breakout room, see if I can get Cameron to come in here. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine.
If not, we'll be back at like 5:40 anyway. So
okay.
See ya. Hey, I think he actually logged off, so I'm gonna send you to another room if you're cool with that. Oh, she left it. Hey, Sierra. I was just saying, if it's okay with you, I think Cameron logged off or was like timed out or something. So I'll put you in another room if that's cool. You can just listen.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I'll do that now. See ya.
like it's just more fun. Yeah. Yeah. And then I had another one that was sometimes just after it, and he was talking about like sports psychology. I did sports psychology. Well, that she was saying that she's actually like for some reason she it's like I don't know. This is what basically like I there's no things like
What's interesting is
How are you guys doing? Talk about how you think it's better or how you
wasn't just
I think just like
I just and then the other thing is
primary
I was
up in there,
what like this was
but I was like, all of this. Yeah, that's about different. That's why action coaching. So I guess I'm like, the kind of real considerations that happen as well. And like, you can like do faster. That's just like, maybe that would be more. And you have and so the goal of the and each of them or the other person like, oh, it's done. And so you want to role of the strategist is what hard work is to make sure that so that's kind of like
yeah, I'm just like once I know like 25 years, like 5 area, almost like communication. So this is like the work that he gave me like a story about like how to like even rise from so he saw like one time this like character here working in communications when he was about to get at the media something on like like in 2007, calling the prison conference, President Obama, this calculated. It's like talking for, you know what? He goes back in time, 2004, where he was at the DNC, he saw Obama case back in like, he thought, you know, on was done. I just saw it somewhere. I was thinking it would be that question, but and then they wrapped up where how he inspired 2008 big maybe watching he was the first color watching the first story.
I guess it's some parallel story.
Actually, I'm doing another parallel. Another interview. Worked on long story short, she's also inspired in a way like saw like at every rally like farther away. Where like cross the on stage, the fact that you one thing. Totally like what I'm getting right now. Yeah, he like
Hey, camera.
Yeah, I got disconnected somehow.
Oh, it's all good. I'm gonna throw you into a breakout room if that's cool.
Yeah, no, let's do it. Let's do it.
Just if you had that story I was talking about.
I do.
Great. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw you in. You'll have to like explain. Sorry, but here you go.
Let's do
Here
it.
you go. Yeah. All right. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I was just saying.
I'm kind of writing.
No, I'm not. That's fine.
Yeah, but no, I just think it's important for these kind of things. Well, I guys yesterday had like a really good story that I used to be like, yeah, so it's fire. So to get into this, it's like hopefully,
You're right. Yeah, I hope.
Refugees or like, how did somebody do a story?
So I know one of the I can send you off straight up like like there's I just know there's something to be with Margot Robbie. I was just like, oh, that's just like her mom is really good about it. Yeah. That's we'll wrap up with this. Okay, I feel there's a lot of you want to be like that. Carson, I have a question.
What's up?
You know who's saying the email professor like the credit? Who's that a D?
I think it's probably a professor.
Also, what about the like class option?
What do you mean?
You know how he's talking about like he has a different class that he can like.
Oh, the podcast. I don't think we're gonna do that for like your credit, but I would say I'm sure like there's a whole there's basically like an entrepreneurship department at this point. Like I'm taking one of the classes right now, and I'm just like I'm 100% sure this guy will help us out if he needs. So I can talk to Eric a little bit more. I'm sure that was just like something to get you in your head about it, and I can like give you a little bit more specific information. I probably can be if they're actually if they're in their MSB. If they're not in the MSB, then maybe not. But well, I think the credit in the past has been MSB, so that's what I would think. But I'll talk to Eric. I'll send you guys something in the next like this week about what to do. But yeah, don't stress about it now. You can figure it out pretty quickly. So but yeah, maybe. I honestly don't think it'll be like that much of an ask, to be honest. Though, like agree to it. Yeah. So we'll wrap up in like a few minutes. What is this?
What?
Is that Facebook Messenger?
This is.
Oh God. Oh God. Jesus.
Wait, if you have an Android, you can do what? You can text on your computer. Oh, I have an Android. Yeah, text on my computer. Yes, it's an Apple. Yeah. So you just download the message, and then you go on to messages.android.com. And then the reason
Okay, I'm gonna close the breakout rooms.
It's like the same thing you send. Yeah.
So we'll wrap up in a minute or so when they get back in.
Yeah, no one uses WhatsApp either. What's up with that?
It's just it's like a foreign thing.
Everyone uses
Isn't it for like international?
Yeah.
Everyone uses GroupMe here, which is so.
Yeah,
It makes me so sad. We should use.
Groupie. Dude, I'm not switching to
I
WhatsApp.
feel like I have a guy who downloaded WhatsApp just for you.
I already have WhatsApp. Don't worry. But WeChat's where it's at. I'm telling you, I would switch everything over to WeChat. So useful. I'm on Slack. Oh yeah, Will's one of the guys that runs Sleep Surf with me, the mattress business. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna wrap up now. All right, hey everybody. All right, I hope that you got something out of that. Yesterday, I know one of the authors told me that they went back and wrote like 1,000-word stories. So they found it super useful. Yeah, I know. I'm not saying you're gonna do that, but hopefully at least you kind of saw. I was kind of saying to some of these guys earlier. Sometimes like the most useful resource you could have in this entire process is like each other, because we're all going through the same stuff, and even if you don't have anybody that has like a super similar topic to you, there's a good chance they can help you quite a bit with stories. So I encourage you to like continue bouncing ideas off of each other. Continue. We'll be doing a lot of this kind of stuff the next few weeks. Continue to mix it up. Definitely encourage you to come because at the very least gives you a little time to think of stories that you can write later on. We'll start doing a little bit more writing in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, definitely encourage you to keep doing this. I think we are going to have, or no, sorry, we're not going to have, or we may or may not have a meeting next week. The week after that, I think we'll be back to it for sure. But we'll cease before finals, so don't worry about that. And yeah, so is there any questions for me? Anything at all? Yeah, Zane just asked how many words are due after Thanksgiving. 9,000. You should have something in your updates room from each of your DEs that kind of went over it. So definitely encourage you to check those. Maybe even drop an update if you're feeling ahead on top of it. But yeah, and once again, I said this at the beginning, I'm going to send something later tonight about how to do the stories index. Definitely encourage you to watch that. It'll only be like 2 or 3 minutes long, but can probably go a long way because that can be very, very useful. Yeah. So any questions? All right. Well, I hope you guys have a good week. Good luck if you have any last midterms or anything, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.